this is the first time that I had peace. Like, before I sang, because I usually be like, oh Lord, I gotta do this song, But this time I was like, you know what? Let's just get up there and sing. And I wasn't stressed, I didn't miss no lyrics, I didn't do nothing. It was just a peace that came over me, and I'm thankful for that.
When Jamal Roberts stepped off the van in Meridian, Mississippi, the scene looked like something out of a movie. People were holding signs, waving excitedly, cameras were flashing, and his family stood nearby with proud smiles. From the outside, it looked like the perfect homecoming full of joy, love, and celebration. But if you looked a little closer, something didn't feel quite right. Hometown visits on talent shows like American Idol are usually raw and emotional. They give fans a glimpse into the real lives of the contestants, where they grew up, who raised them, and what shaped them. These moments are supposed to be heartfelt and honest, full of unscripted emotion. But Jamal's visit felt different. It wasn't messy or spontaneous. It was clean, controlled, and overly produced. Some people in Meridian said it felt more like a Hollywood movie set than a celebration of one of their own. Instead of letting things unfold naturally, the Idol production team had everything planned down to the last detail. Camera crews arrived early to set up, marking spots on the ground where Jamal was supposed to stand, wave, or hug someone. Locals noticed that some of Jamal's family members were asked to move out of the frame so the shots would look better. One person even said that Jamal had to hug his grandmother 3 different times because the director wasn't satisfied with how it looked on camera. There was definitely excitement in the air, but also a strange tension.
26 million people voted. Took the time out of their schedule to make sure I got this right here. That's an amazing journey. So many people believe in me, and that just gives me that urge to just keep moving and keep pushing.
Some people whispered that the vibe felt off. A few even joked that it felt less like a tribute and more like a cover-up. Because for the people who know Jamal best, his story is much deeper than what the show wanted to show. His journey wasn't just about making it to the finale. It was about everything he went through before Idol, years of struggle, pain, and moments the network clearly didn't want included during prime time. While the cameras captured wide smiles and carefully planned hugs, a very different story was unfolding behind the scenes. Once filming began, the truth started to become clearer. According to people close to the crew, most of the emotional moments had been scripted, or at least rehearsed. Scenes were filmed multiple times. One moment where Jamal visited his old school reportedly took 3 takes. A heartfelt speech his mother gave outside their house? That was rehearsed too. She was even told when to pause during her speech so the camera could zoom in at the right time. Real emotions were squeezed into a strict schedule. Leaked production notes showed that the goal wasn't just to highlight Jamal's journey, it was to shape it. One note said, "Keep Jamal positive. Avoid triggering comments or anything that may bring up the early social media stuff."
One part of the competition, I was like, I think I can chill now a little bit, but she was like, I want to see more, and it was just consistency, and I understood that completely.
That last line raised questions online. What social media stuff? Fans started to wonder. Suddenly, it was clear that the show wasn't trying to tell Jamal's full story, only the version they felt comfortable showing. Insiders said the producers were under strict instructions to avoid anything that could hurt the show's image, especially during the finale. But even with all their planning, one moment broke through the polish. During what was supposed to be a simple parade through town, a man near the camera crew suddenly yelled out, "We know what you're hiding." Everyone stopped. Security rushed to find the man, but by then, several people had already recorded it on their phones. Production immediately paused filming. Crew members huddled together, and the directors reviewed the footage. They quickly reset and began filming again as if nothing had happened. But the people who saw it? They remembered. The quiet whispers turned into buzzing conversations. Local Facebook groups were filled with people asking, "What are they hiding? Was that about Jamal? Why did they stop filming so fast?" The man who shouted out was never seen again, but his words stuck with people. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Jamal's singing talent anymore. Now, people were wondering what the show was trying so hard to keep secret. As more questions spread, so did the tension between Jamal and the production team. Those watching closely began to notice changes in him too. The sparkle in Jamal's eyes, the one that fans had fallen in love with during the auditions, started to fade. That big, warm smile became more forced. He still showed up, still waved and posed, but something in his energy had shifted. Crew members said Jamal was pushing for something different. He reportedly asked to speak directly to his fans without a script, without retakes, just his real thoughts. But the production team wasn't on board. One insider claimed the team told him it would mess up the segment flow. You could tell he was frustrated.
The winner of American Idol is Jamal Roberts.
Jamal also made requests to change certain scenes, especially the ones that felt fake. But those requests were rejected. The response was always the same: it's already locked. After that, he started arriving late to filming, staying quiet between takes, and even stepping off camera when he didn't have to be on it. Some people called his behavior unprofessional. Others said it was his way of coping. Then things got even more serious. A batch of private messages between production staff began leaking online. These weren't just planning notes. These were messages that confirmed fans' worst fears that Idol was crafting Jamal's story line by line. One message read, "Keep the protest signs out of the final cut. We don't want to distract from Jamal's arc." Another said, "If he brings up the early elimination backlash, cut it. We've addressed it already." But the most shocking message said, "He's unpredictable on a live mic. Keep segments tight. Control the tone." At this point, it wasn't just about editing a TV show anymore. It was about hiding Jamal's truth. Fans who had supported him from day one felt deeply betrayed. The Jamal they had voted for was no longer being shown. Instead, they saw a version of him that the producers had crafted, a version that felt safe and controlled. Still, even with all that pressure, Jamal continued to show up. He was quiet, focused, and clearly carrying a heavy weight. But off camera, away from the bright lights, he finally opened up in a way fans had never seen before. It wasn't a formal interview or a press release. Just a short, honest conversation with two local reporters he had known since high school. What Jamal shared in that quiet moment said more than anything that had been shown on TV all season. He admitted it, "The show changed me, and not always for the better." He talked about the constant pressure, the need to keep up a certain image, and being told not to respond to criticism. "They wanted every part of me except the parts that made them uncomfortable," he said. When one reporter asked him if he had ever felt burned out, Jamal didn't hesitate. "There were nights I almost packed my bags and walked out," he said. "You get tired of smiling when everything inside you feels the opposite." He didn't call anyone out by name, but he didn't hold back either. He spoke about how genuine moments were edited to fit a narrative, how his offhand jokes were turned into scripted lines. "They want your voice, but only if they can control it," he said. "Otherwise, they mute you." Then came the most unexpected part. Jamal hinted that the judges weren't just unaware of what was going on, some of them were fully involved. For a long time, he had stayed quiet, maybe out of fear or respect. But in that moment, he opened up.
Maybe that it'll settle in probably later on tonight or in the morning or something, but I'm just like, I'm in awe. This has been a dream. God is good, and I'm so thankful. I'm grateful for every opportunity. I'm thankful for American Idol. Everybody that's played a big part in this moment, I love you, and I'm just grateful.
He said some judges admitted they were just doing their job, but they knew what was happening. They saw the pressure. They saw how the stories were being manipulated, and they said nothing. Even worse, Jamal said that a few judges helped shape those narratives, picking favorites, siding with producers, and doing what they could to protect the show's image. He didn't drop any names, but rumors started swirling that Jamal has recordings, real audio clips from behind the scenes, conversations captured during breaks, moments when people let their guard down. According to someone close to him, Jamal is holding on to those recordings for now, waiting for the right time. Meanwhile, back in Meridian, his family was feeling the pressure too. What they shared later added a heartbreaking layer to the story. What was supposed to be a happy homecoming became something very different. Jamal's mother said that production pressured them to stick to scripted lines. She said they were told exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to react. Even their personal memories were changed to fit a neat little story. They wanted us to feel proud, she said, but not to talk about anything that didn't make them look good. The most painful moment came from Jamal's younger sister. In one emotional scene, she was asked to talk about how proud she was of her brother. But instead of smiling, she paused. She looked around the set, confused, then quietly said, "It doesn't feel honest." She started crying. That moment never made it to air. What should have been a celebration felt more like a scripted performance, even in their own neighborhood. The Roberts family wasn't being treated like real people. They were being directed like actors. And the town that had once been so excited was now divided. At first, fans were thrilled to see Jamal on screen again. But after the leaks, the parade incident, and Jamal's off-camera confession, the mood online changed quickly. One person wrote, "We didn't vote for a script. We voted for Jamal. Give him his voice back." Another added, "I feel sick, knowing how much of it was fake. He deserved better than this circus." Soon, hashtags like Justice for Jamal and Idol Exposed started trending. Fans demanded answers. One petition asking the network to release unedited footage from Jamal's hometown visit gained thousands of signatures in just a few hours. Another called for a public statement from the producers. Even former Idol contestants began weighing in liking posts, sharing clips, and hinting that Jamal wasn't the only one who had gone through that. One thing is certain, this season won't end with just a performance. It's ending with a confrontation. Will Jamal's truth finally come out? Or will the show do everything it can to bury it and protect its image? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for the real story behind the spotlight.